Talk About It Tuesday, and we have a great stock investing question. After an investment at 30 cents a share, should I reinvest at 75 cents? Okay, so let's start at the end. I always like to start at the end. And what am I talking about? What was your exit strategy? Did you plan to invest for the long term in this company as part of your portfolio, or were you looking for a really short term gain? If it was a short term gain, what return on investment, what percentage return on investment were you targeting? Because if you do the math, you bought it at 30 and it's 75 cents. That is a 150% return on investment if that's within a year span. 150% return. So if it's a short-term play and you made a 150% return, then what in the world are you targeting? If it was short-term, I wouldn't reinvest at all. I would take my 150% and I would run with it. But again, depends on what your exit strategy is. Now, if your exit strategy is different, if your investment goal is long term, and that's part of a long term portfolio that you intend to hang on to, totally different strategy. So, if that's the case, a few things we're going to look at. The first thing you have to determine is what in the world made that price go up so much? So, was it economic factors that made it go up? And are these economic factors temporary or permanent? Meaning, is it the interest rates that made it go up? Is it the war in Ukraine that made it go up? Is it issues related to the pandemic that made it go up? Is it a housing shortage that made it go up? Is it the unemployment rate that made it go up? What in the world is driving this price to that point? Is it some big economic factor, and is that economic factor permanent or temporary? Because that will make a difference in the duration of this price, how long that price is going to either remain or continue to go up or drop back down. So if it's not a major economic factor, did the company increase its profits? Did it suddenly make a lot of money? And if it did make a lot of money, why? Did its actual sales increase? And you have to figure out why that happened. Did its actual sales increase, or did its profits increase simply because of inflation? So it has the same or less people buying the product or service, but they're charging more. That's a major difference, because if the sales increase, that means the company is growing. If the numbers in terms of sales are stagnant or declining, but they just charge more, I don't know if the company is worth more. I don't know if it's worth reinvesting at a much higher price. Then you have to ask yourself, well, what else could have made the price of this thing go up? Did it suddenly become popular for some weird reason, like somebody put a meme up, or it's on Pinterest or whatever, or some social media, and somebody's hyping it up, and so there's this buying frenzy? Because buying frenzies will drive a price up. Was it some news story on it? Was it something that made it suddenly popular in the, right? People wanted to buy it because they suddenly know about it, but the company hasn't changed anything. If that's the case, if the price just went up because of some sudden popularity, then I certainly wouldn't buy more. So then you got to ask yourself, okay, if the price went up, how long did it take for the price to go up? You bought it at 30 when? You bought it at 30 10 years ago? You bought it at 35 years ago? You bought it at 30 last week and it went up to 75? So what's been the trajectory in terms of the price increase? Has it been pretty steady going up, or has it been a situation where it's extremely volatile, going up and down, up and down, and up and down? Or has this thing been slow and then suddenly popped up? Because I think all that makes a difference. If there's a steady increase, goes down a little bit, up, 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 but a steady increase, and it looks like that trend will continue, then it would make sense to reinvest. If you have a long-term portfolio and it's a steady growth, and factors in the company look like it will continue to grow, then that makes sense. Otherwise, no, I wouldn't reinvest. So hopefully that helps you out. Just some things to consider. I don't know the company that you're talking about, so I can't really say buy or don't buy, but those are things that you should always consider if you're talking about reinvesting. So great question. Keep the questions coming, and I will see you next Tuesday.